What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin It podcast. Andre, how you doing, man? You're muted.
I'm doing pretty good
Okay.
outside of that technical issue.
Yeah. So, guys, know you saw the title. I was gonna change it, to be honest, but I thought it'd be nice just to have some fun tonight. So, corporate greed, aka fraudulent by design, name of our heel faction in AEW. Hope everybody's doing well. Before we get to what you're playing, Happy Mario Day, everybody.
Yeah, because we actually fell on Mario Day.
Yeah, we actually did. Time change sucked, but yeah, Happy Mario Day to everybody. Hope everybody's been enjoying. I have been playing that Princess Peach demo. I have been enjoying myself. So, big ups to 30 frames a second. I love it. Also, we got dates for the Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2. Thousand Year Door is releasing May 23rd, and Luigi's Mansion is June 27th. So,
summer game.
Yeah, summer game for a Halloween game, but whatever. We got those release dates. Also, Miyamoto himself confirmed that Super Mario Brothers, the sequel to Super Mario Brothers, will be. They've started work on it, and it's coming in 2 years. So, congratulations! I just hope that they change their mind on live action Zelda and go to animated Zelda, please, because I am so scared for Zelda right now, seeing as how that studio can't get nothing right. So, please, for the love of God, go to animation, please.
I mean, we'll see. Sony might not mess this one up. They might not because they need the money.
They do need the money. They do need the money because I ain't even talking about Madam Web, but they do need the money. What's up, everybody in chat? How y'all doing tonight? So, man, what you been playing?
Unicorn Overlord.
How is that?
Think of Fire Emblem on steroids.
Okay. Okay.
Like, look, your main character, Elaine. I ran into his situation where he's now building his harem. Or his harem is building itself around him, I should say.
You know what I'm saying? That dude he ain't focused on that. I played that demo. He ain't focused on that.
Nah, there's a girl. I posted a clip on X. There's a girl who fights you, but she's commenting on how good he looks the whole time.
I saw that.
And then she roll up on him and be like, look, now I want a spot next to you when you become king. I ain't even gotta be queen. Just let me be a concubine. I'm like,
hey, she's shooting a shot.
She just straight up said, look, I don't have to be the wife, but I'm getting some of that.
Basically. One way or another. So heed my words. Basically, it was, I like you and I want you. That's what she was saying.
She basically like, look, we gonna fight and handle business afterwards.
Yeah. Don't worry, you ain't gonna die and you ain't tired.
Now for my Mass Effect fans, he has reach, she has flexibility. If you understand where that came from.
Oh, we're gonna get kicked off the internet. We're gonna get kicked off the internet.
I mean, my Mass Effect fans should understand what that means.
Yeah.
Specifically Mass Effect 2.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anything else?
Nah, not really. Because once I got hooked on that, I just kind of got stuck on it for me.
Okay. All right. So I did play that Princess Peach demo. They let you play the Sword Fighter stage and the Patissier stage. I enjoyed myself. It's people on it, I figured they was gonna hate on it regardless. At this point, I just blocked those type of people out because they can't say nothing outside of frames per second, and they have to wait for Digital Foundry to do their video before they can say anything. So I will say this though. I will say this to the people saying, "Oh, you should be able to tell with the eye what 30 frames a second is and 60 frames a second is." No, you can't. And you know how I can prove it? Near Automata. Remember when that released initially? Everybody claimed that was 60 frames a second. It wasn't. Witcher 3. Everybody claimed that was 60 frames a second. When it was released, it was not. So no, y'all can't tell make it out. I'm just gonna tell you, that's just what it is. So anybody that says that, okay, dude, whatever. Other than that though, I had fun with it. I thought it was hilarious a little bit. The Princess Peach thing, because the setup is what the setup is, but I'm looking forward to going through those different worlds. I want Ninja one. I want the Ninja one because Ninja one just looks crazy, and it got me thinking, what would happen if Koei Tecmo did a Ninja Peach and a Ninja Sheep game? Get off the team.
That's an
See how
interesting
crazy they
concept.
can get. Like, let it be a comedy, but let's see how crazy they can get with it. Like, don't let it be serious.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't
Nah.
make it serious.
But I just think it would be funny if they did that. But yeah, I enjoyed myself with it. It looks like it's going to be a little bit of variety. The variety in gameplay is going to come from going to those different plays that you have to do. So that's going to be fun in a couple weeks when that drops on March 22nd. So I was playing that and jumped back into Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I'm enjoying that game, but it does have some issues with me. But you know, it is what it is. I'll probably have a blog post up on that later this week, just because I didn't got to about 12 hours in, so I think it's about time to do my impressions blog post for that one. And I know I said I was going to do a live stream for the Princess Peach demo, but there was a lot of lightning here yesterday. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow, weather permitting, I'll do that tomorrow afternoon, probably around 5 o'clock. So just so y'all know, I still plan on doing that. You can watch the Let's Do This Quietly. It is on the channel. So there's that. Like I said, 30 frames a second for the win. So for this week, quick thoughts on the Xbox Partner Showcase. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, that was about it. It was okay. There was a couple of interesting things, but it was okay.
Yeah, overall it was okay. There wasn't anything to be. There wasn't anything that was really crazy, but I thought it was a good update for games that they got. I thought it was a good update. So that's the real quick thought. So let's get into this Yuzu. They settled out of court with the quickness. I'm talking about real quick. They settled out of court with their case with Nintendo, and a lot of people are sweating bullets now. Your thoughts?
I mean, I didn't say it enough on this particular matter, I think, because I've said things that people didn't want to think about, and then when they found out that the things that I said that they should have thought about were true, they didn't want to pay any attention to me. They ignored me completely, disappeared from all conversations. So I think I have said enough about how hypocritical people can be about this particular thing, and that Yuzu was definitely using Nintendo's encryption libraries, and Nintendo ninjas are real.
Yeah, they're called lawyers.
No, not just the lawyers. They got people scouring all those different Discord channels, because I'm like, how did they get that information if they're not in those Discord channels? They are in those Discord channels.
Well, the other thing too is, and I think people don't understand this, because there were some people I saw on X when the court settlement happened, posting pictures of them saying, "Well, now I'm gonna emulate everything with them."
Oh yeah, like that idiot that put the picture with his middle finger up. I was like, yeah, go ahead, tell them directly, you dumbass.
That's one of the reasons why Yuzu got in trouble, because Yuzu, when Tears of the Kingdom got jailbroke before the release, I'm like, dude, y'all done. And you knew they were done because they sent out a press release going against piracy.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that now everybody knows that the emulator that they had a tracker in it that lets you know whether or not people were playing pirated games.
Mm-hmm. But y'all want to sit up here and be stupid? Go ahead. I'm like, and I'm so tired of the game preservation lie because it's a lie at this point.
It's not preservation if you're doing current market.
Yeah. And the other thing too is the Wii U. Nintendo puts up their library. Of course, you have to pay for the games. I mean, that makes sense, but they have them there for you. We don't want that. Okay. Switch comes along. NSO. We don't want that either. We want to go back to that. Like, they can't win.
They can't.
They can't win. So you have a situation where they give you a system that has straight up backward compatibility out the wazoo, but you don't like it because, to be fair, gaming media told you not to like it. Because apparently y'all love the games, but y'all hated the system.
I don't know how you do that. How do you hate the thing that the games were made specifically for?
Oh, by the way, I finally.
Yeah, it makes no sense, but these people do it because now I'm getting all the port begging, which to me is just freaking hilarious that you port beg off a system that sucks and it's trash and it's garbage and it's all it is.
Oh, I got for Dark Void. People blame Nintendo for their consoles being outdated hardware. Every platform is outdated hardware when it releases.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the point? It doesn't make a bit of difference. Now, if you want to say you have more horsepower behind certain hardware and that's what you're looking for, then you go ahead and be on PC and make that your home and shut up about it. Otherwise, stop talking about it because everything that releases is outdated when it's released.
Yeah, because it takes about 3 to 5 years for R&D to get the console up.
Yeah, and when the Switch released, it was the most powerful mobile chip on the market at the time.
Mm-hmm. But now that's not the case. So, Sandstorm, how you doing, man?
Well, I'm doing great as usual. Did they? Nope, she didn't mute this. Okay, I'm doing great as usual.
All right. Your thoughts on the whole Yuzu settling out of court with the quickness?
Oh man, that was the smart move. That was the
only move, dude. To be because they number one, they didn't have enough. I don't think they had enough capital to go with Nintendo.
No, they wouldn't have. And as there's so many ways that Nintendo could have handled it. You know what I mean? Like they could have really just like starved them to death. Like we'll just sit on it. We'll just sit on it. They can just keep going. They can keep going, or they could have got them. They could have handled it with the swiftness themselves and been like, yeah, let's go ahead and crush the competition. So it was smart. They chose the what's my man's for Friday? Ezel. They chose the Ezel right. You know, my neck, my back, my neck and my back. You know, I want 150,000, but we can settle out of court for you know what I'm saying. So it was just it. I think that was a smart move to just go ahead and hand off that money, get your apologies, and kind of move on from there.
Yeah, because I think the Patreon setting up a Patreon hurt them, and people. I think people don't understand that everything you do, email, X, text messages, dude, that stuff is stored. Mm-hmm. Which means if they get a subpoena, your text, your tweets, all that stuff can be used in the court of law.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how people don't understand this.
Yeah, because as a business stuff like that is public practice, public knowledge anyway. So yeah.
And a lot of people that go on X and be all bold with it, bro. That's how Nintendo got half their stuff for their case.
Mm-hmm.
When you got people using Yuzu for Tears of the Kingdom, that was the killer.
Mm-hmm.
That was the killer. I'm like, bro, they broke it before it released. You can't talk about game preservation now, buddy.
Right.
Because that's not what it is. That's
not what that was.
Yeah. So look, one of our favorite people, Miss K, has always said gaming is an expensive hobby. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people can't afford it, but they're trying. So they'll do anything they can to get games free. I mean, we see that with the rise of free to play, even though you pay for it in microtransactions. The free to play.
Right.
Like we see that. I mean, it's not going to be. It's not a cheap hobby, and it's not getting cheaper because all the stuff that people say are standard that needs to be in games is going to get more expensive because they're not doing this pro bono.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So it is what it is. So next, well, you know what? This kind of goes into that. So Sean Layden, the former head of PlayStation, put out I think it was an interview, and they were talking about how a lot of these budgets are getting out of control. And he made a statement. I'm trying to find the exact quote. Okay, they don't have it in here, so I'm just going to paraphrase a little bit. Basically, he was saying that when your game exceeds 200 million, you can't be exclusive because you're not going to make that money back. That's basically what he was saying. It also, like, games don't need to be, not every game needs to be 100 plus hours. These big blockbuster titles that you're trying to make, we're not seeing the money come back. I thought it was interesting that Sean Layden said that. But we've been saying that here as well.
Right.
Like, dude, we don't have time. If you're a working adult, you don't have time for 500 plus hour games.
Right. That part.
Tears of the Kingdom is like one of the only ones I have. Because that's the only one I can afford to like put that time into. And basically on the weekends at this point.
Yeah.
And that's if I have nothing to do on the weekend.
Right.
So, but you have so many people in gaming, I hate to be like this, but gaming nowadays is like it's copy. Like you see so many roguelikes, you see so many free to plays, you see so many all of these types of games, and you're like, dude, everybody ain't got to make the same thing. Let's have some variety.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing about it is because when a style or a niche of something works, everybody wants to follow it so they could try and get that that money. Yeah. And and that's why we're at where we're at now, where we don't have we've talked about this before, where we don't have those loopy, like off the wall games that come too often unless they come from our new third party source. I'm gonna stop calling them indie. Our new third party source. Because everybody wants to drop all this crazy amount of money just to have like a singular game, and Nintendo showed time and time again, like, you don't have to do that as long as you have a great game. Really, if you have a great game and the gameplay works and you advertise it just right, like you don't really need the multi-platform in order to make it work. It's that popular thought, or it's that popular opinion that the only reason why Nintendo games work is because only people who buy Nintendo games buy those games. But while that may be true, if you think about back to the beginning of the time that whoever started buying Nintendo games like that, they showed that those games had reason to buy them. They had weight to them in the first place. That's why they buy them now. That's why we buy them now, is because they have that weight. So it's not to say that nobody else can follow that routine, but you have to keep your budgets now. Start low. If Square Enix, to be honest with you, if Square Enix started off with this HD 2D stuff, really, and not necessarily kept trying to go for the graphics with the Final Fantasies or stuff like that, I guarantee you they would be one of the top companies, because that stuff pushes. Even if they would have done remakes to all their old stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like if they got with Nintendo and figured out all those extra files that they're missing and made Xenogears and made that HD 2D, do you know how wild that would sell? Like that's easy money for them. Likewise, they could have did the same, even though The Legend of Dragoon is more 3D in a 3D model. They could have HD'd it up and spiced it up just a little bit, even made it, had that PlayStation 4 look for that, and dropped that on Sony for a low price, and that would have sold too. But instead, everybody is just moving into this high budget model, and that's why it's not sustainable. That's why it's not working. So yeah, he's absolutely right. Like at this point in time, if you're a third party and you're not Nintendo, really, if you're not Nintendo, that's what it comes down to. And you're making games, 100 million plus, all systems, as much as possible, anything.
Yeah. Andre, thoughts?
I mean, I pretty much agree with Sandstorm. Like, and I've been parroting this idea for years now. Like, drop the budgets, go through a couple years of hurt, but get yourself stabilized. Nobody wants to do it because everybody's like, well, we have to meet the fan expectations. Fan expectations are set by what you put out.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. At this point, I'm like, it's almost funny because they're saying the stuff that once again Iwata told people, and they told him he didn't know what he was talking about. He told you the model couldn't be sustained. Microsoft out here giving blank checks because Microsoft actually has money to do that.
Right.
Sony,
but now they starting to get to a point where they're kind of like, do we really want?
It's like we doing it, but we ain't getting no results out of it.
Yeah, we ain't getting no results out of it. So it's like Microsoft are probably the only ones that could do it and be fine. Sony tried to do that, and you saw what happened to them. They had to start shutting down divisions.
Right. Because
Sony ain't got money like that. No matter what people want to believe, Sony really don't have money like that. No. Not to go up against Microsoft. No. Sony was never a $1 trillion company.
Sony ain't even got money to go up against Nintendo right now.
Yeah. No. So that's why when I heard that because it's rumored, but Spider-Man 2 cost $200 million, I'm like, what were y'all thinking?
Right.
What were y'all thinking?
To think at the condition that game launched in.
Right. It wasn't
even
cost
that
game.
Much money.
Yeah.
So at this point, maybe y'all need to scale back. If that means making the game more linear and not as open world, then damn it, that's what it means.
That's what it means.
I'm like, dude, there's nothing wrong with a linear game.
Yeah. Or maybe, and this would be a perfect way for Sony to swing it. We're going to reinvigorate the market with some PS1 styled games where they visually they look clean and crisp, but graphically they look like PS1 games so that they can get their file sizes down. They don't cost as much to make, and then they can put more work into actually making something interesting.
Yeah, and they can lie to. I mean,
they can just say we are doing a reinvigorated PS1 style for a series of games.
Yeah, and they're looking out. They're looking out for the OGs, the original.
People will eat that up
from day one. Problem. The day oneers from the original PlayStation.
And go back to get your mascots back.
Yeah,
they might not be able to do that part.
I mean, well, make some new ones. I mean, you're freaking Sony. Open back up Japan studio and let them boys cook.
Right. Shoot, it's not like they don't do that anyway. Leave their other IPs behind anyway. So.
Yeah, I mean, they still got Jack and Daxter. They may not have Spyro and Crash to themselves, but they got Jack and Daxter. Ain't nobody mess with that. Ain't nobody mess with Sly Cooper.
And Brand Smith, you're right on that. You got to train the Sony audience to like those games. But that's what the Sony audience originally was.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a couple years of hurt. Yeah. They went through it with PS3 when they transitioned to try to chase Microsoft.
Yeah.
Do the same thing.
I'll put it like this. You put out, because good games are good games. I mean, we find that out with Nintendo all the time. Like, we ain't supposed to like no damn Splatoon. We grown men.
Well, I don't know about you. I like the idea of squids popping in out of colored ink.
But it was fun. That's the point. It was fun. It was just fun. You weren't supposed. We grown. That's for kids. We ain't supposed to like that. It was fun though.
Yeah.
And everybody was addicted to it. Smash Brothers. You're not supposed. Smash Brothers just supposed to be like some that you let the kids play. Yeah, I know about Link and Mario. Giving them sticks. You don't know what you're doing. That's why it's happening. Mario Kart. Do I need to say more?
That's a family breaker there. Mario Kart and Mario Party.
Right.
Well, once again, like when you have that variety of stuff, and then you can just drop a Zelda, a Metroid, a Star Fox anytime you so choose. It works. Your fan base knows what they getting themselves into. right?
Right.
I mean, that's what I would think. But when you when all you ever talk about is specs, and all you ever talk about is FPS, you never talk about the game in and of itself. People don't know the game is fun. They just talk about it because, you got to look at the graphics, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't play anything that's not 140 frames a second. It hurts my eyes.
Well, I hate to break it to people, but if you don't have a monitor with a refresh rate that's that high, that's all you're getting is going to be 60 at best anyway.
But people, for some reason, don't believe that. They don't believe that, that's real. They're like, no, I can tell. No, you can't. You're not a mutant. You don't go to Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. You're not an X-Man. So stop. so just stop. I kind of despise that, but y'all already know that. That being said, Suicide Squad did not meet their sales expectations, and now WB put out that they want to use a live service and free-to-play game type strategy.
They are going to run themselves into the ground.
Well, that answers that. Because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, this ain't where it's at. You should have never tried to do Suicide Squad like that to begin with. I think Suicide Squad should have been more like the Arkham games, like an adventure game, not what they did.
Yeah, if they would have made it more like the Arkham games, but you use everybody's own special characteristics, they'd have been straight.
Yeah, but what they tried to do didn't work, and it's one of those situations where I'm like, okay, I see what you were trying to do, but Marvel's Avengers came out like 3 years before you, so you had to have seen how much of a dumpster fire that was. You had to have seen that.
They saw it and said, we can do better.
And wound up doing worse. But that's neither here nor there. Plus, it doesn't help when you put out a video of a beloved
character being
all of fiction,
gunned
especially
down.
DC, getting gunned down.
Who are we talking about? What's happening?
Suicide Squad. They didn't meet expectations,
yeah.
And now WB wants to move to a live service or free to play strategy.
Unless you are going to do exclusively mobile, that is a horrible idea.
So
and they're not doing that.
So, side note to that, I heard somebody say that they're trying to move away from Batman unless he kills. That's what I've.
That's topic has been going on for years.
Yeah, that's been a thing that DC's been going back and forth with. My only problem with DC using Batman that way is that he tries to apply his no-kill rule to everyone else. If he applied his no-kill rule to himself, I won't do it. But if you feel it's necessary, then you do it. That would be fine. But for some reason, they got him having this psychotic attitude that he has to stop everyone from killing.
Right.
And the problem with him is he's responsible for millions of deaths because he won't take out Joker. Or he won't take out Penguin.
Then on top of that, he has a personality that kills people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what difference does it make at this point?
That's why everybody,
two personalities.
That's why everybody loved Damian when he first introduced Damian, because Damian was like, "No, the dude needs to die."
Yeah,
he's not changing.
When Damian came out, and when
Jason
Todd came back as Red Hood, everybody loved it because they was like, "We just gonna get down to business."
Yeah, because one of my favorite, and I know it's a little bit off topic. One of my favorite comics was when Wonder Woman straight up called out Superman and Batman to their face about having a rose gallery. How many people did they allow to get killed?
Yep.
And both of them couldn't say nothing. She's like, I don't have a rose gallery. You want to know why? And they couldn't say nothing. And Batman know he couldn't say nothing.
Nah.
So that's one of those. Yeah, but that thing that's been going around especially on the DC side of things for like years now. The problem was Zack Snyder. That's what the problem was when he did Justice League and Batman vs Superman. I'm sorry, he killed them dudes in that warehouse.
I mean, you drop grenades and you see the booth You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They kind of do.
Nah, he put a dude head through the floor. That dude dead.
To be honest with you, too, they did it in the Michael Keaton joint too.
Yeah, they did.
That man rode around with the Batmobile shooting off bullets and rockets. I mean,
well, the funny thing about
the
funny thing about that was everybody was like, "It's Tim Burton," so they was okay with it.
Right, because it's dark. He's dark.
And the other thing too was the people that he was up against was killing way more people than he was.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, he's justified in doing that. Them people are killing people, so he's kind of justified in doing that. So
that's the thing. That's the thing, though. And then they keep creating characters that are supposed to be Batman, but Batman killing.
Yeah.
Like Ghost or whatever his name was, that was recently in the comics. He's literally just Batman that kills.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Or Azrael. You ain't gonna get into that. J Biggs, I don't think she forgot about him. When I forgot how the panel went, but it was basically like she don't have people like they have. Like Superman and Batman have people who go through, like for Arkham, for instance. Arkham is a revolving door. I don't understand why you would even send anybody to that place. They get right out. It's like they walk in and walk right back out, and they're back doing something. So that's what she was meaning, you know, with that, because she don't have that many. Like she has, they make new ones for her. She don't have like a revolving door. Like Batman, Flash, and Superman have a full-on 5-page list of villains that always show up. So
I give Flash a pass because his villains, most of them don't kill.
Yeah, most of them don't.
The only one that really does kill is Reverse Flash.
Yeah, and that's
everybody else is just, look, we trying to rob, we trying to get rich money. We ain't worried about
we trying to change all the people to gorillas.
we try to end people's wealthiness, not their liveliness.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, there is that. But yeah, the Suicide Squad thing, and look, it's called Kill the Justice League. So going by the name, I understand what they were trying to do.
Right.
But the problem is you can't do it. Not to those characters, because people ain't gonna like it. Even if they like the villains, they're not gonna like that, because once again, people love. I've told people, I remember telling my boy at the comic book shop, I'm like, dude, I like Batman. I hate his fans. His fans make me hate this character, because that fan base makes no sense.
They don't. Like, I get why people don't want Batman to kill, because it's been established that he's got that rule, but people forget that when he originally came out in comic books, when he first interacted with the Joker, he actually killed him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like a three comic character, and he was dead and gone, and that was it.
Yeah. I think when they brought him back in like the 50s or 60s, I think was when they brought him back.
It was because of the during the time where the comic books had to be more lighthearted.
Yeah.
So then when they brought him back, he became the goofiest, most psychotic, goofy character he could be.
And then Mark Hamill immortalized him in 92. Then in 92, Mark Hamill immortalized him.
Then from there, things leveled out. That's what it was. Gorilla Grodd was more of a
I don't think he killed. Like he takes over people. Like
that's his thing.
I don't think he kills though.
But Gorilla Grodd was more of an. What's the group that Beast Boy was with before Teen Titans?
I can't remember.
Doom Patrol, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. That Gorilla Grodd was more of a Doom Patrol enemy.
Yeah.
Than Flash.
They just brought him over during a couple of.
Just like how Kingpin was more of a Daredevil enemy before dealing with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So it's just the swapping out and exchanging of villains.
Yeah.
What's up, Geronimo?
Hey, what's up, Geronimo? How y'all doing?
Yo,
All right. So 2024 is looking to be a crowded year again. 2023 was crowded, but I kind of let that pass just because I was like, you know what, this is probably pandemic era crowdedness, because we had that with the movie industry as well. They were starting like, okay, we got to get these movies out, we got to get these shows out that we had on the shelf. So I kind of figured that, but now it's starting to look like 2024 is going to be just as crowded. Do y'all think the gaming industry needs to slow down and take a step back and let some games breathe? Because I think that's another reason why a lot of these games ain't making money. Because some of these time frames there's 2 or 3 blockbusters coming out around the same time.
Yeah.
People got to make a choice because I've had to do it. I'm like, okay, not getting this, I'm getting this.
Mm-hmm.
And just having to hope to wait on the sale during the end of the year or something. But I want to get you guys' thoughts on it because at this point, I do think that we do have a bit of a too much problem.
Mm-hmm.
And we have it's too many. We don't have a lot of quality. We got a lot of quantity. Mm-hmm. And everybody's expecting their stuff to sell, and that's not how that's going to sell. So, Samson, what are your thoughts on it?
So 2 parts to this. One, I think that the economy has really changed. Looking back at 2022, I think that's probably the most, maybe even 2023, is probably the most games that I've bought in a year. Some of that probably due to having a channel and doing first impressions, but I was able to buy those games because I had the money, the funds available. This year, and even sliding into this year, especially in America, it's been a whole headache because stuff is starting to cost more, and you have to put that money into investing into those different things, whether it's food, transportation, all this other stuff is costing more. And so the funds to be able to feed our hobbies is not as strong, generally speaking. And so when you're looking at these games that are coming out, like we got Dragon's Dogma 2. And if you would have asked me last year, I would have told you, yeah, I'm getting that game like day one. And now because of everything that's going out, mind you, I don't do any pre-orders unless it's like Zelda, maybe Pokemon, like few and far between. You have to do something special to me in order for me to get that. In order for me to do a pre-order. So looking at that, like Dragon's Dogma, like I'm gonna get it, but I don't know how soon I'll get that because funds aren't as available, and because they're still trying to stack those games so close to each other and not give that breathing space. It's almost like it's not necessarily like these games are so close and everybody's pals. You know what I'm saying? Mm. It's almost like going to if anybody knows, well, I'm sure y'all do, but it's almost like going to a furniture store. You know what I'm saying? And like you walking through and you're like, dang, I kind of like that. But that price is a little high for me. So I'm gonna just wait, but I'm gonna just keep shopping. And somebody walks up and is like, hey, do you want to buy this? And you're like, oh, like I would like to, but I can't. And they're like, oh, deal, sales deal, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, all right, like I'm gonna just keep looking for now. And then like another game or another furniture pops up a little bit later, and you're like, ooh, I got a little more funds. And somebody's like, hey, you want to buy this? And it's like but it's like they're competing with each other to try and get you to buy that one game so they can have more games on their stuff. But you're just like, man, like my money is already tight, and y'all keep asking me to buy these games, Yeah. So I think it would be healthier for them to space those games out. I think also too that also helps with them trying, if they're going to go ahead and use this money to try and make these big old games or whatever, at least it allows them more time to work on those games, to figure out bugs and stuff like that. So the money is being allocated properly and not like crunch time, hurry up and get these games out because we need this stuff out. So I think that's a smart move. If you got to take a big title, and move it out to next year, then do that. If you have smaller titles that that you can push in that place to equal that sale that you're looking for, do that. Like that's what makes sense.
Yeah, and make smaller games for God's sake. Andre, thoughts?
Well, I have several.
Okay.
This, if my camera would clear up. This
got it. Yeah.
Was the pre-order version of the game, and I didn't pre-order this. I got this during the with the sale. that just popped up. So companies are running their games too close together, which is meaning that they're having to drop the prices of them much sooner, which is why that's half the price a month later.
Yeah.
Then I ended
Ubisoft been doing that a lot lately too.
Yeah, they have been because they don't have much of a choice. All of the big releases are happening together. So in order to drive people to purchase their games, they have to drop everything down in price. That's why I ended up with these two collector's editions, $20 a piece. I was like, "Hey, you gonna put them out there for it? I'm gonna get them."
Yeah, I mean, because they got to move that stock out of the warehouse.
Yeah.
They have to. That's why, as much as people try to say, "Oh, physical is the way," I'm like, yeah, but if you're not buying it, it stays in a warehouse, and that takes up space.
Yeah, it does.
And they have to get those out. So there's a lot to be said about that.
I would prefer everything be physical because I'd rather
Me too.
I'd rather have the physical license that I can resell if I really want to. More than likely I won't because I actually like to preserve my stuff.
Yeah.
I like the emulator crowd. Like my Sifu here. I have the Redemption edition. This was $40. I got that for $40. This was what was it, 150?
Yeah, it was
when that version of it
was
dropped?
a lot when it first came out.
Before you get the figure, the steelbook case, the book, and the music CD.
It was a lot. It was over 100.
Yeah, it was like 150. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, maybe not drop everything together, or if you do have a game like that, because that's the Switch version that no one knew existed.
Yeah, because it couldn't
maybe
run.
Actually advertising.
No, it couldn't run. It couldn't run on Switch. So
even though it came out day and date.
Once it drops once they sell 100 million, we can make it run.
Right.
So yeah, it's one of those situations where I'm like, look, we probably need to go back to how it used to be in like the 80s and 90s, where stuff was spread out. Now, granted, there was the mid-level publishers and mid-level developers and all of that. We don't have those anymore, but that's what we got the indies for.
Yeah.
So we got the indies for.
They are them. They are those.
That's their job now.
Basically. So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, you know what? They need to, especially those big games, because look, it's already been confirmed that most of these big games take 3 to 5 years to get off the ground any damn way. So if you already know that, then plan for that. Like, it's simple planning. Plan for that.
Right.
You know, if you know, okay, and that's another reason why I hate when they put trailers out for games that's going to be 3 years down the line anyway. Like Wolverine, like what happened with Bayonetta and Metroid Prime. Even though Metroid Prime, their situation was a little bit different because they had to do a full reset.
Right.
But like Bayonetta, they should have never showed that trailer. Granted, we didn't know the pandemic was going to happen, but they should have never showed that trailer, in my opinion. Don't show your trailer until you know for a fact that you're in a good place where you can get it out between 6 to 8 months, in my opinion. That's when you drop that first teaser trailer, 8 months out. I mean, hell, Astral Chain came out. They dropped Astral Chain, the trailer for Astral Chain, and a damn Treehouse Live in June.
Within the same year.
At the end of August.
Yeah.
Didn't say nothing.
So it comes down to proper planning, in my opinion. So that's that. So people, we got 2 topics we're gonna end with. One of them is gonna be a little happy, the other one ain't. Y'all all know I am a wrestling fan. And last Sunday on March 3rd was Sting's final match ever. He did an AEW Revolution. I got a chance to see the match. It was a great match. It was him and Darby Allin versus the Young Bucks. His sons came out. One of them was Surfer Sting. The other one was Wolfpack Sting. I thought that was actually pretty cool. Had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat there. Flair was there. Lex Luger and DDP were there. I thought it was actually a nice little send-off for thing. And I would ask you guys, I don't know. I know you watch wrestling. Sanson, did you ever watch wrestling?
I have not watched the wrestling since the 90s.
So you know who Sting is, though. So
yeah, I know who Sting is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping Shadow would be on, but apparently he still has stuff to do. So, so I want to get you guys. Yeah. So I just want to get you guys. What do you have like a favorite Sting spot or whatever?
I mean, honestly, all my favorite Sting stuff was from his WCW days.
Yeah.
Like when he was fresh and he would walk out with the bat and he just be taking everybody out in the ring.
So you're a Crow Sting fan?
Yes, that's
that's the
but
one that I remember.
he just walks in quiet, didn't say a word, didn't speak, just beat ass and leave.
I will say that 1997, he didn't say not one promo the entire year. All he did was come in, run out the NWO, run out fake Sting, beat up Eric Bischoff, and that was it. And he'd either go back to the rafters or he just disappeared.
Or that one time where they had him strung up with the bungee cords.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I miss that version of Sting. Where I didn't mind him talking, but I liked it. But like especially when he had that match against Bret Hart, and he pulled out the Scorpion Deathlock, and we all know it's just another version of the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
But he just did it, and they caught everybody off guard. It was like, hold on, did he just hit Bret Hart with his own move and tap him with his own move?
Yep. J Biggs, I did like Main Event Mafia Sting in TNA. I did like Main Event Mafia Sting. That was a fun Sting. I actually like. First of all, I'm a massive Crow Sting fan.
Yes,
I'm a massive Crow Sting fan. I liked when he came back to AEW because that WWE run, I just didn't like it. For obvious reasons. I mean, I didn't like the booking of it just because if you know anything about like WWE and especially Vince, his whole thing about destroying WCW, I was like, this ain't gonna end well for him. Especially because Sting was the last one to come. He was literally the last person from WCW to ever come to WWE. And I'm like, Vince is gonna book him he's gonna book him bad. Now he had some cool moments in WWE, but he should have beat Triple H at WrestleMania. That is a fact. That was just no.
They went through trying to make him look like a C-tier wrestler when we know he wasn't.
When everybody knew he wasn't. And that's why I was like, look, man, that ain't gonna work. So when he came to AEW, I was happy. Because I'm like, at least he gets to, he's because I just had a feeling they were gonna treat him better. And in my opinion, they did. Like, he didn't always talk. He did do his thing when he beat ass and left. But them teaming him up with Darby, I thought that was actually a good team up. And I think it worked for a lot of reasons. Because like he didn't wrestle as much as people think he did. He really didn't. He still did his Sting no. I love when he no sells stuff. That's just funny to me. Like when they do their move and he just gets back up and then they turn around and he just do the beating on the chest and just close on him. I love that. I love that mess. So that last match was with the Young Bucks and his heel douchebag Young Bucks, the best Young Bucks. The Young Bucks are awesome when they are heel douchebags. They are.
Dark Voice said something I was just thinking of. Like, I really wish they would have really taken it fully to heart and done Sting versus Undertaker and have them both do their no sales.
Yeah,
in a match against each other.
I don't think that would have worked. As much as I want to see that, but with Vince booking it, I don't think.
No. See, Vince wouldn't have booked it right, but let me take the reins. That would have been an Inferno casket match.
It'll be a 2 out of 3 falls match, honestly.
No, 2 out of 3 falls in the Inferno casket match. The Inferno match first, and the casket match afterwards.
Yeah. What's your last one?
With a steel cage.
So steel cage, your last one is the last match.
Well, steel cage could be. Yeah, steel cage. No, because casket would have to be last.
Okay, so
Caskets have to be last.
So
to
Steel
end.
Cage first, Inferno after that, and then
Yeah, there we go. That'd be a better order.
Yeah, because they did an interview with Undertaker, and Taker was like, "Yeah, I would have murdered." I'm like, "No, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't. Don't
Not
even
by booking. No, you wouldn't.
no, you wouldn't. Look, I like you, Taker, but no, that would have been booking it wrong. That would have been booking it wrong.
They were the same tier wrestler. You couldn't do that. You could not feasibly do that.
Yeah. But it was just amazing that he lasted as long as because he outlasted a lot of his peers.
Yeah, he definitely did because he took better care of himself.
Well, because he admitted, like in the 80s, he was doing steroids, but he stopped, and other people didn't. Nope. So he stopped and started, and then when he went to Japan, learned how to work how they work, and it was all over after that. So
then he came back as Crow Sting.
Yeah,
I like Crow Sting.
Crow Sting was just that dude, man.
That's why I would have loved to see a Crow Sting versus OG Undertaker match.
That could have actually worked.
That would have been beautiful.
Yeah, and because you would have had Paul Bearer doing all the talking, which I love Paul Bearer, man. Paul Bearer, that dude. And I just have Jimmy Hart just because I love Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South, even though he's from Canada. I would have loved to have Jimmy Hart talking for Sting just because I just love the way Jimmy Hart with that bullhorn, that heart-shaped bull. He had a bullhorn with hearts all over it. You had to love Jimmy Hart, man. That dude was he was a character. He was a character, but Sting has retired, so. Glad he's in the Fight Forever game because I love playing with him on WCW versus NWO on 64.
Yeah,
he was just and
him and Rey Mysterio were my go-tos.
Yep.
Y'all making me want to go back and play some of those old school ones.
Dude, WCW versus NWO was like the best one outside of WrestleMania 2000.
Yeah.
That was like the best. Yeah, Jay Biggs. When I found that out, I was like, "He's from Canada." Yeah. So yeah.
You wouldn't have known it by
where he at. I was like, okay, I did not see that happening. So for this last one, found out this past week that Akira Toriyama passed away on March 1st. Akira Toriyama is mostly known for Dragon Ball Z, but he did do stuff in video games as well. Well, the Dragon Ball series as a whole, not just Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. But he's has done stuff in video games. If you like Chrono Trigger, any of the Dragon Quest stuff, that's all his art.
Yep.
That's his art. The Blue Dragon game that came out on 360.
Amazing game.
Yep.
His art. Also, the anime as well was his art. Because the Blue Dragon anime was actually pretty good. I don't know why they stopped doing it. It was only like 2 seasons.
Yeah, when you play the game first, like you know how you get stuck in your head, like okay, so this is how this is supposed to go. But the anime plays nothing like how the actual
the anime plays like an Akira Toriyama Akira Toriyama anime.
Yeah,
it plays like that. It don't play like the game at all.
No.
But I think in most things with Dragon Ball, especially, like I would say probably like one of my favorite things with Dragon Ball, especially Dragon Ball Z, was Vegeta. And the entirety of Dragon Ball Z you can see that as a character development for Vegeta. Right. Just seeing where he came from to where he ended up in Boo at the end of the Boo series. I thought that was just like masterfully done, to be fair. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to share something, share one of my favorite moments from the series. And if you like Naruto, if you like One Piece, if you like Attack on Titan, if you like Bleach, you cannot deny what Akira Toriyama brought to anime, what he brought to manga. And this is one of the reasons why. And this is with the original Bruce Falconer soundtrack. So I know people like the Japanese soundtrack for certain stuff, but I actually prefer Bruce Falconer's soundtrack for Dragon Ball Z, especially a lot of the themes that he came up with. But this is one of my favorite of all time scenes.
Oh, the moment.
Up goes the weasel.
And that is when Frieza stepped up.
I won't let you get away with this!
And his eyes started turning white.
Man. My man was seeing black.
He was raging. Like, and Frieza didn't once think, hold on, why is this happening around him?
That concentration.
You didn't think once to just, evacuate.
Right. Pop him now while you can.
Just watch.
I won't let you!
Gohan like, what's that? What?
This set off the trend for transformation.
That stance, though.
Say, I got my back to you. You can't touch me.
Gohan, listen very carefully. You must leave this planet now and take Piccolo with you. Got it?
Like, boy,
This is the last time I'm going to tell you. Get out of here right now, Gohan.
Don't make me take off this belt.
They go struggling to hold his faculties together.
That moment where he grabs his hand and he's like, "Ow!"
Yeah, but that is probably my favorite because when I read the manga for it as well, the way he set the paneling up, and they did a good job. Toei did a great job of animating that sequence because it happens like that in the manga, where you see the lightning, it goes back to Goku with no eyes. You see more lightning. It goes back to Goku. His eyes are in, but he's just angry. It goes back to lightning. You see Gohan like piss on himself. He goes back to lightning that last time, and he powers all the way up. And then it's the way he looks at Frieza, and Frieza's like, "Oh shit!"
Right.
But he's still looking down on him because Frieza thinks they're all monkeys. So he's still looking down on him until Goku down there breaks his hand.
Right.
So the funny thing about it is like people, I used to remember hearing people say that Dragon Ball isn't written well. And I'm like, really, bro? But they'll tout something like Naruto or Bleach. And I'm like, they took their inspiration from that.
Right.
So...
Well, a lot of people say Dragon Ball isn't written well, have only really watched Z, and they've only watched one version of the dub.
Yeah.
So you can't really take their whole...
Because
if you can't go back and watch the original, you ain't got no stake in the claim, bro.
Yeah.
Right. I would say, too, we talked about this yesterday, but one of the biggest things that Toriyama did was make the rival to hero / I gotta be BA trope. Like that's like your Vegetas, like Hiei, like everybody has fallen under, and it's almost like now even in anime, like it's just kind of second nature to us and we don't really think about it. But like every anime that has like some sort of action to it, like they all have to have this rival to like he's got to be socially awkward or too cool for himself trope, you know. Naruto's done it, Black Clover has done it, everybody's basically done it,
Especially the new ones like My Hero Academia's done it.
yeah, My Heroes, yeah. So it's like I think that's something that's going to be forever solidified. Dragon Ball itself will be, and it's unfortunate that we won't get to see like where he really wanted that vision to go in the future, but it's just really cool to see that like he really started, you know, something that's probably going to last forever. They probably won't ever change that thought of that happening. So
I mean, like one of the things that I actually liked about, especially like from the Namek saga through through Frieza Fall of a Tyrant, I thought that was a better told Superman story than what DC had, because it actually made sense to have like this one character actually blow up their planet, basically because he was afraid of him.
Right.
He was afraid of especially what like Bardock was becoming, and he was afraid that this dude keep getting powerful, something gonna happen. And if the rest of them figure it out that they keep getting powerful too, I can't have this. So
right.
I
Which
thought
is kind of ironic because he never worked out, and now that this mug is working out,
he got that Black Air Force energy, baby. Black Air Force energy. But that and even when they brought back Dragon Ball Super, now it's being done by Toyotaro, but Toyotaro actually consulted with Toriyama on a lot of it, the majority of it actually. So it wasn't like Toriyama didn't touch it. That's why one of the things that I go back and I say I love the whole introduction of Beerus and Whis, even though I don't know why they make Beerus that lazy, but it's funny how they make him the guy destruction. He's lazy as I don't know what, but that's one of the things that I like, you know.
Yeah, I like the fact that he really like. I think it's really for us, right? But I really like the fact that like he's so lazy. Every time they get a new transformation, everybody's like, "Oh, this might be the time where they're strong, as Beerus." But it's like,
no,
chill back.
No, he slaps him down like they ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
nah, Beerus is doing that Master Roshi secret training.
Basically, yeah. Paz, it wasn't Brainiac. The original thing of that planet blowing up was because they harvested their core. That was the original. Now, I want to say, right when the New 52 came out, they did a new character. They tried to bring in this new character. It's like a 7 issues limited series where they tried to go back and say it was this character that actually destroyed their planet, and it just didn't make sense. So it wasn't because of Brainiac. That was something that was another.
That was a Superman animated series that did that. Now I remember.
Yeah, like the original story that they came up with was they basically destroyed themselves because they harvested their own core, their planet's core, which doesn't make sense because they were all scientists. It really don't make sense. But when you think about it,
core harvesting, how bad could that be?
Yeah, that's gonna work out just fine. I will say I am looking forward to that new series that they were coming up with that's gonna premiere in the fall. I just want to see what it's about. Like, I know it has Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and the rest of them turning back into kids for a little bit of it, but I do want to see what that's going to be about, because I've been watching Dragon Ball Superheroes, Brawly, Battle of the Gods, Resurrection F. I watched all 13 of the DBZ OVA / movies, so I've just been watching that lately, just because it felt appropriate, and plus I forgot how fun those are. A lot of those are actually a lot of fun to go back and watch. Triomite is a fun one. World's Strongest
is great.
Yeah, World's Strongest I thought was okay. Just like Dead Zone, I thought Dead Zone was okay.
Dead Zone's all right.
Yeah, but Triomite was my jam for the longest until I saw Cooler and Cooler's Revenge.
Yeah.
And then we got movie 7 with the Hick Red Ribbon robots. Right, the Hick Red Ribbon androids.
Oh, kick you in the balls. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm talking. They made that dude sound like he was straight from Kentucky.
Right.
So
I have to correct that though. That wasn't a kick. That was a solid punch.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, he is going to be missed because a lot of his stuff touched a lot of different genres, a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, like, I think, like, somebody on X said it best. He's like, when I was younger, I liked Goku because he was a hero. But when I got older, I respected Vegeta more because of the whole pride and having pride in yourself and having pride in who you are and not forgetting who you are.
Right.
So, and it's just those things that people are,
He grew the most too. He grew the most out of anybody,
I say that the entirety of Z is basically a nice character development of that character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just is. Personally, my favorite character is still Piccolo. He's still my favorite character out of the series. But yeah, the older I got, because I could agree with that. Because the older I got, I started to understand Vegeta more. Especially with that speech he made when he was fighting Kid Buu for Goku,
he's got a couple of speeches, even the one where he talks about becoming a Super Saiyan and like how he just broke down and kind of came to the realization that like he was gonna be second and he was just like
you pissed him off.
Yeah. That put him in a whole different mindset. Even is the Boo one where he's like his pride? Is that one? Okay, yeah.
That's the one where he's where Bobby tries to make him do something. He was like, "You can take my mind and my body, but there's one thing to say, and always keeps his pride." He just basically like overpowered somebody trying to take over his mind.
Yeah.
Essentially.
That too, when that's my Bulma.
That was funny, but that was actually awesome. Because for the longest time, people didn't understand, like, bruh, like, y'all don't realize Vegeta was not a good guy until the end of the Buu series.
Right.
Which means he only smashed Bulma to get a child. He ain't care nothing about Bulma. That's why in Super, like, the first thing they did was like, yes, he does care about Bulma. They had to confirm that.
Yeah.
That's the ways they did that. But yeah, like Vegeta didn't really care about her like that.
that turn up, because I was like official, like the man, because they all never ever see them have like a real relationship, and she'll throw some like snarky stuff at him, like, oh, you was good in bed type stuff, and he'd be like, woman, stop.
But I'm saying, like, that's one of the things I did like about Super was they actually went on and solidified that instead of like people, because like they don't get, you don't need, I don't think he was just living with them. He ain't married her, he was just living with them. That's why it was funny in Super when Goku was like, hey, I'm finna go to Bridges' place to train. You coming with me, Vegeta? Like, no, Bulma's pregnant. I can't go. I mean, she's the one that had the baby, not you. Why can't you go? Like, bro,
we do this all the time. Me and my family do it. Why can't yours?
Yeah, basically, it's like Goku, bro. Come on, man. Everybody don't have a Piccolo. Everybody doesn't have a Piccolo to raise their kids for them, right?
They really made Goku go backwards as hell, though, in Super.
Yeah, but I think they did that for more of a comedic standpoint, because every time he did something stupid like that, you were laughing. Everybody was laughing. We were laughing too hard to care. We was like, God dang it, Goku, man, come on, dog. This man about to get in trouble. And then Vegeta straight up looked at him like, how are you married?
Right.
How? Because Chi-Chi just puts up with it.
Look, no, Chi-Chi locked him down early and said, whatever happens, you mine anyway, so I don't care.
Right. Yeah. It ain't like you a fighter, so you ain't really trying to look at no women like that anyway.
He really ain't. He really ain't. I mean,
I might as well take it while I got open season.
Yeah, so that's why I've always thought that was funny, like that dynamic. And I'm like I said, I'm glad that Super actually established that, and then they also established the fact that Piccolo's the best teacher, so he pretty much trains everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you would think Goku would, nope.
Mm-mm.
And then you come to find out Gohan and Videl just trust Piccolo more with Pan, which makes sense.
I always wonder
That's why I say
why.
he's Uncle Piccolo.
Yeah.
I always wonder why Goku would do that when, like, he got trained by, oh, I guess he's not there because it's Dende now, but him,
Kami.
yeah, Kami,
Yeah.
or even Master Roshi, like. Like unless Roshi was like, nah, I'm done with kids. like me and kids, we done for. I'm trying to get mine. So when the time comes, if I ever decide, which is be never because he got the the elixir or whatever, but
Yeah.
whenever I decide, like I can go out and not have to worry about these dang kids. But it's just it's kind of crazy. Even like when Gohan was in whatchamacallit, and what did they call it? Not other world.
On the Supreme Kai's planet.
Yeah, like he didn't have Kai teach him at all, or go back and teach him at all. So it's just like, dang, like you don't want nobody to know your techniques, huh? You just want the techniques for yourself. Except for when Vegeta finally learned all that stuff, and then it changed everything. But that's just crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is probably the Dragon Ball series is probably going to be probably one of my favorite series of all time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
DBZ, I don't count GT, and Dragon Ball Super.
Poor GT. It'll never get realized now. If it had a chance before, it definitely don't got a chance now.
Well, the problem I have with GT is that I know Toriyama had nothing to do with it. That was straight up the studio. And then when I watch it, I'm like, there was only one good arc I liked, and that was Super 17. That's the only arc. I didn't like the arc with the Tuffles. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way they set that up. And
the setup was weird. I mean, we got Super Saiyan 4 out of it though.
Yeah, but that's about it. And I was like, okay. And then Vegeta can't do it unless he gets hit by that tank.
Yeah, which he would never do. And I'm glad they rectified that with Super.
Yeah.
He figured out his own way to get there. They can't now because I think at this point Super Saiyan 4 is
it's not it's not they're not counting that.
Yeah,
they're not counting none of that stuff that happened in GT.
But technically they do because they still have a Dragon Ball superhero. No, Super Dragon Ball Heroes crap.
Super Dragon Ball Heroes.
They still have that.
Yeah, but that's supposed to be like not. That's supposed to be separate.
It's separate. It's separate, but it's still part of Dragon Ball's overall
stuff. Okay.
So basically, like how Xenoverse taps into different versions of the worlds. That's all superheroes, Super Dragon Ball Heroes is. It's just tapping into different versions of the worlds.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, there's that. But I am going to be looking forward to seeing the Daimo. I think it's Dragon Ball Daimo. Daima. Yeah. Be looking forward to seeing that. And guys, in the comments, leave your favorite. If you have a favorite Dragon Ball scene, hey, leave it in the comments. Let us know. Also, can't deny Dragon Quest. If you look at any of the Dragon Quest artwork, Toriyama's artwork is distinctive. So there is that. Also, there's Sandland coming. Now Bandai Namco has been putting up a lot of stuff on their YouTube channel, showing the game how it plays and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, that only was like it wasn't that big of a manga, from what I understand. So I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I did hear a rumor that they're doing an anime on it, but I don't know now.
That's what we've been hearing.
But I don't know now. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I guess we'll just have to see. But yeah, leave a comment. Let us know what you guys' favorite Toriyama, whether it be Dragon Quest, Chrono Trigger, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. Let us know what your favorite Toriyama moment is. And with that, we're going to call it an episode. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you're on Twitch. Give us a follow if you like what we're doing here. Sandstorm, anything you want to pimp out?
So yesterday, we did our tribute to Toriyama. So if you guys want to see a full 2 hours of us talking about that, everywhere from the animes to the video games, to just kind of memorable moments, go ahead and go over there and check it out on the channel. As you can see in my subheading, Road to 500. Woo! We are moving. We're moving really close to 500. I think we're just over being 30 away. So I think we got like 32 till we do that giveaway. So at 500, we will do a $50 giveaway to a eShop or online shop of your choice. Stormcast every Saturday at 9:00. The Vitoverse on every other Friday at 9:00. Make sure to check that out. Also, too, Trey Vito did a episode with Jay for
Iwashu.
Yeah, Iwashu. So go ahead and check that out. Great video. And then tomorrow, possibly a Joe podcast. I'm not 100% sure, but on Terminator Juice's channel, make sure you go over there at 7:00. You can find me over there as well.
All right, Andre.
I thought that would be plenty.
I mean, if you would like to hear me go on a decent rant about the settled Nintendo versus Yuzu case, you could go ahead and do that. Trust me, people are either going to like me or hate me for that. And also, I realized that I did not upload my Silent Play Sunday video, which will be uploaded in a few minutes because I completely forgot to put it up. Which is just going to be a Princess Peach Showtime. And yeah, I don't know why I forgot to post it, but it's going to be posted.
Gotcha. All right. So as I let everybody know earlier today, me and Vicky did our review for Halo Season 2, Episode 6. It's up on the channel. Check that out. Also have the Let's Do This Quietly for Princess Peach Showtime demo. I am going to play that live stream tomorrow and give my impressions, weather permitting. I don't think the weather's going to be bad tomorrow like it was today and yesterday. Yeah, it's supposed to be clear tomorrow. So I'll be doing that gameplay, giving my live impressions of both the Sword Fighter play and the pastry, the patissier play. So come by and join us for that. I still plan on doing Hyrule Warriors and everything like that. I think for the Switch anniversary, I'm just going to do it for the rest of the month. Last week, some stuff happened at the last minute. I had to switch up some shift for work, and then I had to do a whole lot of other stuff y'all don't really want to know about. But let's just say being an adult can be
fun,
unforgiving sometimes. So with last minute things that you have to do when you already have plans made. So I'm going to try and at least 2-3 days a week this month, try to do some of my favorite Switch games and play them and let you guys see them, and then do some live impressions and stuff like that. So that is the plan. That's the plan. Hopefully I can go through with it. But once again, as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for coming through. We're going to be at it again next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So y'all have a good rest of the night. Watch some Dragon Ball, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace, everybody.